Hi everyone and welcome to Thursday's lesson. It is our fourth and final literacy lesson for the week. Now, I hope you've had a chance to look over Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday's literacy lessons as well, and you've had lots of practice at the oi sound and the 4 common words that I gave you at the start of the week. Now, today is a little bit different. Today we are going to be looking at some poetry, and I'm going to tell you why.
So Monday is the 25th of January, and the 25th of January is a special day for us. We call it Burns Day, and that is the day where we celebrate the life of Robert Burns, who is a very famous Scottish person who lived way back about 250 years ago, and he was really famous for his Scottish poems. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about Robert Burns just now, and then we'll get on to the Scottish poems. So, all about Robert Burns. It says, "My name is Robert Burns. I am a Scottish poet. I lived in Ayrshire in Scotland over 250 years ago. Most of my poems were written in Scots and in English. My most famous poem, Auld Lang Syne, is sung all over the world on Hogmanay." So Hogmanay, boys and girls, is what we call New Year's Eve in Scotland. It's a big celebration in Scotland. Have you heard the song Auld Lang Syne? Now, I am pretty certain most of you, if not all of you, will recognise this song. I'll give you a little listen just now. I'm sure lots of you recognise that song. So even though it's over 200 years old, we still sing it every Hogmanay, every New Year's Eve we sing that song. Did you know that Auld Lang Syne is in the Guinness Book of World Records? It is one of the 3 most popular songs sang in the English language. Can you guess which song is first? So can you have a think, boys and girls? What song do you think is the most popular song that we sing in English? Let's see. Happy Birthday. It's the Happy Birthday song, of course. That's the most sang English song in the world. So here is a little bit about Robert Burns' early life. I was born in Alloway in Ayrshire in 1759. Can you see the red dot at the bottom? So it's near the bottom of Scotland, near the south of Scotland. My parents were called William and Agnes. I was the eldest of 7 children, so he had 6 brothers and sisters who were younger than him. He was the oldest. My family were poor, but my father taught us how to read and write. And that was so important for Robert Burns. He wouldn't have went to school like you or like me when I was your age. He would have had to have worked, and not many people back then, not many children back then, especially if their families were poor, would have been able to read and write. So Robert Burns was incredibly lucky that his dad was able to teach him, and that is what let him go on to be a famous poet and songwriter. Did you know? The house I was born in is now the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum. It is visited by over 100,000 people every year. In the museum there are hundreds of objects that belong to me, such as the quills I used to write my famous poems. So if you go to Ayrshire on your holidays or for a little weekend away, you could maybe visit this museum where Robert Burns lived. My father was a farmer and I had to help him on the farm from a young age. So remember, he wouldn't have went to school. When he was just a young boy, he had to go and help his dad on the farm. This inspired me to write poems about the different things I saw. During this time, I wrote my famous poems about a mouse and a woodlouse. One of his most famous poems that's known all over the world is called To a Mouse. And that's one that he wrote when he was working with his dad on the farm. So in 1788, I married Jean Armour. That year, I also travelled around Scotland, collecting local songs and writing about my travels. Here are just some of the places I travelled to. Can you name them? I'm sure some of you can have a good go at naming some of these cities. Down here we've got Glasgow. Then just across from Glasgow, it's our capital city, Scotland's capital. We've got Edinburgh. Up here, if we go up north a little bit, Perth. Then along the coast here, we've got Dundee. We go much further up north, we've got Aberdeen, and even further up, we've got Inverness. So he went up to all those places looking for some inspiration for his songs and his writing. Burns Night. The first Burns Supper was organised by my friends. They wanted to celebrate my life and read my poems. Today, every year on what would have been my birthday, people all over the world celebrate Burns Night. They eat haggis, neeps and tatties and they recite my poems. So that's on the 25th of January, which is Monday. So now it's your turn to recite one of my famous poems. It is read at Burns Night before people eat their haggis, neeps and tatties. It is called the Selkirk Grace. So it goes like this. Some hae meat and canna eat, and some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, say tae the Lord be thankit. So it's a bit like a prayer that people say before they tuck into their nice Burns supper.
I hope you enjoyed learning some facts about Robert Burns and Burns Day. Now, if we were in school on Monday, we would normally celebrate Burns Day by sharing some Scottish poems with each other, and I think we can still do that. So the next little part of the video is going to show you 3 Scottish poems. So 3 poems with Scots words in them. We've got, the first one is called Mince and Tatties. Okay, so it's all about mince and potatoes. Tatties are potatoes. The second one is called The Wee Red Motor. What do you think that one's about? What's a motor? It's about a wee red car, yeah, a little red car. And the third one is the Selkirk Grace, which is it's almost like a prayer that you would say before your Burns supper. So that one's by Robert Burns. Now you can choose any of those poems to learn. So have a little listen to them just now.
Selkirk Grace by Robert Burns. Some hae meat and canna eat, and some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, say let the Lord be thankit. The Wee Red Motor by Sandy Thomas Ross. In my wee red motor I can gang for miles, up and down the Garden, through the lobby whiles. Mony a bigger motor gangs to tunes afar, nane can gang where I gang in my wee red car. Mince and Tatties by J. K. Anand. I dinna like hale tatties put on my plate o' mince, for when I tak my dinner, I eat them baith at yince. Sae mash and mix the tatties, wi' mince into the mashin', and sic a tasty dinner, will aye be voted smashin'.
So hopefully one of those poems stands out to you, boys and girls. Mrs. McGibber and I have been talking, and what we would really, really love for you to do is to choose one of those poems and learn it, and hopefully you'll be confident enough to share that poem with us during one of our live sessions on Monday. Because remember, Monday is Burns Day, and we don't get to celebrate it in the usual way that we would in school, but we can still do something nice together. So sharing a Scottish poem is a nice way to celebrate Burns Day. Now, when you are learning your poem, there are some important things to remember. So to be successful, you need to do these things. Okay, you need to speak with a nice, loud, clear voice. Okay, your voice has to be loud and clear. You don't want it to be too quiet or we won't hear you, and we don't want it to be mumbled. We won't be able to understand you. Okay, so a loud, clear voice. I want you to think about your pace when you're speaking. Okay, that means your speed. Okay, so your pace or the speed that you're talking at. Okay, you don't want to go too fast. We won't be able to make out the words. You don't want to go too slow either, because you might sound like a robot. Okay, we don't want that. Now, another thing I would do to make you even more successful is try to add in some actions. Try to add in some actions. So if you choose the wee red motor, you can be driving your wee red motor. Okay, so actions will make your poem even more successful. And remember, when you're saying poetry, it's just like when you're reading a story. You need to use expression. So they are the 4 points you need to remember when you're practicing your poem. So on Monday, during our live sessions, we want to have a little mini Burns Day celebration with you, Primary 2R and Primary 2M. So we were thinking maybe we could wear some tartan, if you've got tartan in your house. If you've not, please don't worry, okay? If you've got any tartan, you might want to wear it on Monday. We'll hear some of your poems if you want to share your poem. You don't have to, boys and girls. You might prefer to ask an adult at home to video you, and they can send your poem to your teacher, or you could just say it to an adult at home. That's absolutely fine. Maybe you could even video call grannies or grandpas and share it with them. I bet they'd enjoy that. And then hopefully we'll have time for a little Scottish story or a song as well. So this will be Monday's live. So good luck with your poems, boys and girls. I've put the video of me saying the poems and the words on Teams in the files section. And you don't have a literacy or numeracy lesson tomorrow, so that gives you some more time to practice. Okay, remember those 4 important points. We want a nice, loud, clear voice. You want to be speaking at a good pace, at a good speed, not too fast, not too slow. You want to be trying to add in actions, and you want to be using expression in your voice, okay? Remember, you don't have to share with us on the lives, okay? It's only if you feel comfortable. You don't have to wear tartan on Monday. It's only if you have it in the house and if you want to wear it, okay? Have a lovely day, boys and girls. Good luck with your poems. Can't wait to hear them. Bye.